Hey guys, you're back with another one of Arbiter's Garrysmod tutorials. I've had a bit of activity for the past few days, which is nice, quite frankly. Starting off first, I've got two comments here from the same user. He's asked on one of them if possible I'd want to know how to make an elevator with a stop button and something that lights up when you reach a floor, which is fair enough. He also asked if I could do an Asgard teleporter where you shoot the laser pointer and you obviously teleport to where you're looking at. I have tried to do this. This is odd because I've been trying to do this video for like 2 days, and my Asgard teleporter is completely broken and does not work at all. So I'll work on it and I'll do that one later. So for the minute I'll just do the elevator and the stop button and stuff. The comment was marked as spam, so it didn't show up on the actual video, which, you know, I thought was a fairly decent request. I didn't. Oh God, I'm gonna watch my own videos. You know, I didn't. Anyway, yeah. So I'll get to work at that now. I'm rambling. Okay, so here we are. We'll load the map up. What I like about challenges is that most of the time they're asking to do things that I don't know how to do. So I get to have a think and I get to actually enjoy playing this game again, as opposed to normally when I'm just building the same old things over and over. So yeah, requests are cool. Right, first of all I'm going to make the floors. This is going to be the ground floor, and all I'm going to use is the stacker tool, and I'm going to stack each prop 200 places in the air. So you can see it's frozen up there, and then I'm going to make another one, So I'm going to have 4 floors. Ground 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There. And I'm going to make a small box like this, and I'm going to stick a little thing at the back, just as a little. Actually, I'll make it like a box, like so. Alright. I'll just stick these together. So as I explained, yeah, the Asgard teleporter is just not working. Just in case I miss it out. I missed it out. Okay then, so I'm going to just easy weld this to the front, just so it's oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to stick it on the place above. And this is just so everything's in line, everything's aligned properly, and everything's... Oop, yep, okay, everything's good there. I'm going to freeze it, and then I'm going to unweld it using the R button, and then weld it back together, so that these two pieces are stuck together, and it's just level with that. Now, what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to get a wire hydraulic, and that's down here. And then I'm going to go make sure it's on fixed. I might increase the width to about, let's say 3, just so you can see the wire. And in the direct center of the platform, I'm going to right click, and it's going to go straight to the floor in a straight line, and then I'm going to spawn the controller just in the top corner there. And as you can see, the height's at about 203. But the unfortunate bit is if I unfreeze the block, and the other one of course, it drops down a bit, and that's because of the weight of the panels. It doesn't level out, but we'll fix it in a bit, it's okay. Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to spawn some kind of way that's going to communicate the length changing. And as we normally do, we use a smoother gate. So we're going to go timer smoother and just stick that next to that. And we're going to set a rate. So we're going to need constant value, and we're going to have a rate of 150. That's a good rate to have. And I'm going to stick that right above it. So we're going to have length is equal to that, and the rate is that. Now when I unfreeze this now, it slams to the floor, so ground 0 and that's our height at the moment. Right. The second thing we're going to want to do is obviously put in the buttons to go to the floors. Now obviously these buttons need to go through the same place, so we're going to be using an add gate, so I'm going to stick that on now as well. But what you need to remember is that we can't now use toggle buttons, because if we did, the numbers would add together. So say you had, like, for the first floor I'm going to have 0 and 1, and put that as, just stick that there, and then for the second floor I'm going to have 0 and 2. Say this lift just arrived and you're going to use it, and you say, oh, I want to go to the first floor, that's that one, and then someone else, it's that one, and then someone else gets in it and says, oh, I want to go to the second floor, it's that one. It's now got a value of 3, so it's going to be going to the third floor, which is, you know, useless. So undo the buttons, and we're going to have non-toggle buttons. And for the sake of funsies, I'm going to be using these nice little ones. So second floor, they're quite small buttons, so if you can't see them, apologies, but they do say 1, 2, 3 and 4. I would use 0, but for the sake of continuity, blah. That's 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth floor button. So what you can see there is there's just 4 buttons. There's a 1, a 2, 3 and a 4, and they all hold values of 0 and the floor they're going to, so it's a 0, 0 and 2, 0 and 3, 0 and 4. Okay. Now, he also asked for a stop button, which I'm also going to do now. Stop, and I'm going to give it a value of 5. So, stop button, and that's going to go just on the other side there. Okay. He also asked for a light to be put in, so I'm just going to spawn a light, and I'm going to stick that over there, and I'm just going to ignore that for now, because I'll get to it later. Okay, so we've got a smoother gate, and we have the buttons for the floors that we want to go to and a way to stop. Now, we need a way to make each floor hold a different height for this hydraulic to go to. So we're going to need some heights, and as we know, each platform is 200 apart. So I'm going to update the constant value, and I'm going to have 4 values, each one representing a height of a floor. This one's going to be 1, this one is going to be a number. Make sure that your types of value are properly done, or else you're just going to have trouble. This is going to be 200. This has got to be a number, and that number is 400. See all the interesting bits I have to do. And this number has to be 600. Okay. And I'm just going to spawn that just there, underneath the hydraulic. Now, we need a way to differentiate between the different floors for the different heights, and for this I'm not sure if I've ever used it before, but this is the gate selection, and it is a select in brackets choice. And what this does basically is it holds different values. So if you have a look through, you can have A, B, C, D and E, and those are inputs. So for A I'm going to be having 1, B I'm going to be having 200, C I'm going to be having 400, and D is 600. And you can select which number to use with the choice input. Now all this does is it receives a number, and whichever number it is corresponds to which input it has, and that's the number it outputs. So the smoother is going to take in the input from the selection gate. So, and now all we need is a way to have all these buttons that we've got on the left, which have different values for different floors. So first floor, second, as you know, is all we need to do is to have that value held, which obviously we can't do normally because they're not toggle buttons, they're just normal ones. Now, the add gate does briefly hold the value. If I was to just hold on to it there, you can see it has a value of 3, and then when I let go it obviously goes to 0. So we need something to hold on to that value but not lose it or make the button hold. So what we're going to be using a new gate. It's in gate memory, and memory normally well, what do you think it does? It holds values. What we're going to be using specifically is the latch edge triggered. Now, I don't know what it does, I don't know how it works, I don't know what well, I know how it works, blah. I don't know what it's for, but I'm using it for this because I've had a look through all the memory gates, and this is the easiest one to understand, and whatever. So, what I'm going to do, there are 2 inputs, CLK and data. Obviously the data you want it to hold is the add gate, because you want it to hold the information of the floor it's going to. So 4 would be 4 and it would hold the data of 4, which means that the choice would be 4 and it would go to floor 4. I should have used a different number for that. But obviously, as you can see, when I press it, it's not holding the value because of the CLK, and the CLK is basically the go ahead to hold information. So we don't want this on permanently, because when we let go of the button, the add gate will be 0, and this will update and then be 0. So we want it to hold information for the exact number of time that the information is being given, which thankfully is the amount of time the button is being held, which is the amount of time that the add gate has a value. So all we do is set the CLK to the add gate as well, and that means that when we press a button like 3, it's holding the value of 3 because it's no longer updating its own information because the CLK is 0, but while it was, the value is 3 because that's what we were pressing. So now we have a so now we have a value of 3. So if I was to just press 1 there, and now all we need to do is set the choice on the select gate to the number on the latch gate, and that means that whenever we press a button, if we just unfreeze here, that if I press a button like 4, we start to rise, and that means, as you can see, the value being held in the memory is 4, which means the choice is 4, which means the output 600, and we're on the top floor, more or less. Obviously there's a there's a bit of wobble on the hydraulic system. Don't worry about it. I think I'll stick another one on just for stability's sake. And this is just irrelevant. I mean, I can wire this up wherever I like. Length set to that. Okay. And hopefully that's a bit more stable. It's totally not. Right. I'm gonna put a keep upright. Sorry about this. Right. I'll just leave it. Anyway, as you can see, there's a bit of trouble. We're not quite level. So all we need to do now is just trial and error, update the constant value. Go down here and see. I'm going to make it about 620, and that should hopefully account for the weight and such. Oh no, that was the wrong one to update. Oh dear. 150. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the first time, and then I'm just going to let you get on with it yourself. I'm going to update this bottom one that holds the values for the heights of the floors. I'm going to update it. As you can see, we're rising now. We're nearly level. We're just about level there. So I'm going to leave it at 620. And all you need to do now is update each one of them for each floor so that they're level. And I'm going to do it now and not record it because I'm wasting time. Okay, I've done it now. My new values are like 1, 215, 420, 620. It's all relative. Now, what the guy also asked Alexander was for a stop button. Now the stop button's different because it needs to hold the value of the current height. So, well, what do you think? Obviously you can't answer me, that was a pointless question. We're going to use another latch gate that I'm going to stick on, and what I'm going to read instead of, I want to have the CL case still set to add so that it's only receiving information while it's on, obviously because I'm still pressing that button that's going through the add gate, but the data instead is going to be the length of the hydraulic. So that if we're moving, let's say go to the top floor, and I press this now, it completely crashes. Oh right, yes, of course, my bad. Right, this button holds a value of 5, which isn't any one of these, which means that this latch gate is holding a value of 5, which means that for this choice gate, it's now choosing 5, but obviously there's no input, so you need to set input 5 to that latch gate, and as you can see there, yeah, we're just stopped in between two floors there. So if I press another gate, sorry, I missed out that step, my fault, and press stop, we've stopped there. I accidentally managed to stop on a regular floor, so I'll just press it again. There you go, we've just stopped. So, not that bad, the stop button, it works, and then you can just press another button and keep on going. And that was basically the multi-floor elevator. You can stick on some bells and whistles like I'm about to show you with this light, or you can stop watching now because you know what you're doing.